Everybody asks, where is the Irminsul? What is the Irminsul? Why is the Irminsul? But in these 3 years of playing, nobody cared to ask, how is the Irminsul? Even a tree has got feelings, you know. After all, one can only hold so much information. First of all, what is the Irminsul? It's a silver white tree containing all the information of stuff going on in Teyvat. While it contains info about everybody in Teyvat, it doesn't record info on people from outside the world, aka the Descenders. Now a big question that has been unanswered is why the Irminsul contains information on the Abyss Twin, who is supposed to be a Descender, just like the Traveler. Now there could be 3 reasons for this. Number 1, the Abyss Order tampered with the Irminsul. Number 2, our twins' information is recorded in Teyvat because they already completed one Samsara cycle. And number 3, Dainsleif. With the Abyss Twin being the current leader of the Abyss Order, it has been believed that the Abyss tampered with the Irminsul to make it contain the Abyss Twin's information and make it seem like they belong to Teyvat. Given that the sinner from the Abyss is a being not affected by the normal constraints of time and space, and the fact that time moves differently in the Abyss, it could be possible that the Abyss Order is indeed capable of such a feat. Since we know that Scaramouche and Greater Lord Rukadevda was deleted from the Irminsul, we cannot rule out the possibility that people's information can also be added into the Irminsul. Now talking about the Abyss. Is this you when you play? Is high ping causing a slight delay? Your Spiral Abyss scores may seem okay. What's that? Some stars got away? If high ping is what you fear, Gear Up Booster for you is here. One click will lower your ping and you won't have to worry about a thing. With Gear Up Booster, worry no more, for it shall increase your Spiral Abyss score. Just open the app and select the game, click on Boost, and your ping you will never again blame. Be it mobile, console or PC, Gear Up Booster will make your life easy. Download Gear Up Booster now. While the origin of the Irminsul is unknown, it could be inspired from the world tree Yggdrasil in Norse mythology. The image of a world tree shows a bubble-like structure enclosing a world sitting on the roots of a tree. It eerily resembles the current state of Teyvat, which is enclosed by the fake sky and is sitting on the roots of the Irminsul. From the Narcissus Croix finale as well as various other in-game references, it has become clear that Teyvat is trapped in a never-ending chain of Samsara cycles and that we are now currently experiencing the 4th cycle. It is possible that the unknown god sent the Abyss Twin 500 years in the past before the cataclysm to the starting of a Samsara cycle, while we woke up 500 years later. Our twin who already completed their journey now knows the truth of this world. It could be because our twin completed one cycle that the Irminsul already has information on them and not us. While these two are very plausible explanations, they are not the real reason. The real reason why the Abyss Twin is not considered a Descender is because of Dainsleif. Dainsleif in Norse mythology refers to King Hogni's cursed sword, and it means Dain's legacy as it was crafted by the dwarf Dain. Dain is also the name of one of 4 stags that could be seen eating among the branches of the world tree, Yggdrasil. Just like how Dain the stag is related to the world tree Yggdrasil, we all know that Dainsleif is also related in some way to the Irminsul. This was given away by his title of Bowkeeper. The Khaenri'ah curse worked in 2 different ways. 1. The half-blooded Khaenri'ahs would be turned into Hilichurl monsters, as seen in the case of Caribert. Meanwhile, the pure-blooded Khaenri'ahs would be cursed with immortality, as seen in Clothar, Alberic and Piero. Now, pure-blooded Khaenri'ahs can be distinguished by their unique primogem-shaped pupils, which means that Dainsleif is also a pure-blooded Khaenri'ah. This particular fact is confirmed by Kaya as well. So this means that Dainsleif was cursed with immortality and not with the Hilichurl monster curse. Then what is going on with his right hand? In the Pari world quest, Zurvan says that half of Dainsleif's body had become that of a monster, but an aura of monstrosity was not felt within him. Since we know that Dainsleif was cursed with immortality and not with the Hilichurl monster curse, what could be this mysterious power that is going on in his right hand? If you take a look at Dainsleif's constellation, it shows a ring filled with primogems, and its Chinese translation is the Snake Ring constellation. Snake Ring refers to an Ouroboros, which is a symbol in Gnosticism depicting a serpent eating its own tail. Now in Norse mythology, an example of an Ouroboros is the world serpent Jormungandr, which is said to surround the whole of Earth, biting its own tail. Even though the Irminsul is inspired from the world tree Yggdrasil, and Irminsul as such was a sacred pillar-like object which played an important role in the Germanic mythology. And interestingly enough, 19th century scholars connected the Germanic term Irminsul with the Norse term Jormungandr, or the world serpent. This means that the Irminsul is essentially an Ouroboros in itself, and as we all know, an Ouroboros depicts a cycle of life, death and rebirth, just like a Samsara cycle. This would mean that Dainsleif's constellation is essentially the Irminsul itself. Now, since in Genshin Impact constellations tell the fate of a particular character, it would mean that Dainsleif's fate is also connected to the Irminsul in some particular way. It could be possible that the mysterious power that Dainsleif has is the power of the Irminsul itself. The happenings of Teyvat are said to be recorded by the ley lines in order to be stored in the Irminsul as information. So it means that the reason why the Irminsul has information on the Abyss Twin is because it was recorded by Dainsleif, just like a ley line. Since Dainsleif's powers are connected to the Irminsul, the memories he had of his journey with the Abyss Twin got stored in the Irminsul as information. Now back in the Chasm Archon quest, Dainsleif tells us that he did journey along with our twin throughout Teyvat, but parted ways before that particular journey came to its conclusion. And now if you remember what Nahida said in the Sumeru Archon quest while she was searching on information about our twin in Irminsul, the records on our twin became fuzzy before the journey reached its conclusion, because Dainsleif was not with our twin to record that information. Now in the Caribbean Archon quest, the traveler experiences the Abyss Twin's past due to a tampering of the ley lines nearby by the Abyss. But it would be possible that the ley lines weren't tampered by the Abyss, but by Dainsleif itself, because he wanted to know how the twins' journey ended and why they joined the Abyss Order. Dainsleif being connected to the Irminsul could be why Dainsleif has knowledge on so many things going on in Teyvat. When we first meet Dainsleif in Mondstadt, he even knows that Venti is the Anemo Archon Barbatos before we even mention such an information. Dainsleif being the narrator for almost every character's collected miscellany could also be an Easter egg hinting at this particular connection. And finally, Dainsleif being connected to the Irminsul could be why we would have to defeat him, so that all the threads of fate will be ours to reweave. Now in Norse mythology, Dain actually means the dead one. So could it be possible that what we see in Dain's right hand is not a part of his body, but a part of the Irminsul itself? This would mean that rather than being merely connected to the Irminsul, Dainsleif is actually a part of the Irminsul itself. All of his memories are actually information from the Irminsul, and all the memories he gained of his journey with the Abyss Twin became converted into information within the Irminsul, thus making the Abyss Twin not a descender.